Max Miller of NHL.com and the Hockey News joins to discuss some props, over-unders, and more of the 2024-2025 San Jose Sharks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also co-host of Western Conference Tuesdays on the Locked On NHL channel. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. If you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today, Max Miller from NHL.com and the Hockey News joins, where we go over some fun props, like over-unders for some players, as Macklin Celebrini going to be over his 56 points this year, like where the Sharks finish in the standings, who has the most ice time, fun stuff like that. So before we get into it with Max, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. And now we are joined by friend of the show, NHL.com writer and the hockey writer, Max Miller. How's it going, buddy?
How's it going? Good to be back. It's been a while.
It has been a while. You don't realize with the grind of the season how quickly it goes. And then all of a sudden the season's gone and we're into draft season, which is the only thing any Sharks fan cared about last year was can we get the draft season? That and can the Penguins continue to lose? That was the only two things we cared about was which was also draft season. So I did want to bring you back because I thought we had a lot of fun doing this last year. So I brought you back again to talk about props and odds and all that fun stuff as we get ready for the Sharks season opener on Thursday night against the Blues. Of course, we'll have Celebrini and Will Smith and so much fun stuff to talk about instead of the same old that we've been talking about all summer. But it'll be nice to have something new and free to talk about. So let's get started by looking at some of the big kind of overall things and just kind of talking about the team's success for this year. And our good friends over at FanDuel has set the over-under at 64.5 points. Max, are the Sharks better than that? Or where would you, if you were a betting man, go?
See, I'm trying to put the math of what 64.5 points, like what would 64, how many wins? They're not going to hit 30 wins. 20 wins is 40 points. They had 19 last year. Okay, let's say they get to 24 wins. That's what 48 plus 10, 50. Probably under. But if it's under, it's like they're getting 63 points or 62 points. But the way I look at the team right now from a point perspective, when I look at it that way, wins, I'm hoping in the 26 to 28 range. I think they're going to be closer to the 24 to 26 range.
Yeah, I've been kind of on the under as well with it, just barely. But I mean, I think we both agree this team's going to be way more competitive than they were last year. They're not going to, hopefully not as many of the 7-1, 10-1, 10-2 type of, and more of the 5-3 probably variety of games. But yeah, I'm close. You could talk me to it. I think the thing that might help the Sharks though is I think the Pacific's going to be kind of garbage other than the top three. So if they can maybe steal some wins from the Kraken and Calgary, LA, I think might be primed.
I'm not high on LA.
I'm not high on LA. I don't have them making the playoffs. I did my Western Conference with Seth on the NHL. I did not have LA in the playoffs, and I think because the Pacific's so bad, maybe they might be able to kind of bump up their point total there. But I'm with you. I still think that's a huge jump from last year to go that much. So I will also take the under on that. So. But FanDuel also has the Sharks with the best odds to have the worst record at plus 190. Are you taking that action, or is there somewhere else that you're going?
There would definitely be for me somewhere else where I'm going. I mean, you mentioned the Pacific Division. Like Dustin Wolf is a great prospect of a goalie behind
I
that
love
defense, but I don't. I think it's going to be a fight between them. The Ducks should be better than the Sharks, but who knows?
Yep.
I'm not too high on Chicago still, even though they've got some good pieces. I think the Sharks have a better. People talk about how Anaheim's 2 years ahead, or Chicago had Bedard last year. Yeah, that's a thing, but the Sharks prospect pool, in my opinion, is deeper. And when you add players like Tyler Toffoli, and you already have Mikael Granlund in there, and Mackenzie Blackwood's already, proved he could play behind a struggling defense. Like, the biggest thing for the Sharks to struggle with is the new systems that Ryan Rosofsky's putting in place. But in terms of the best odds to be the last place team, they're going to be bottom 5, I think. But I don't think they're finishing 32nd.
No, one team you left out, I think, is Columbus. I think they're the team I would be looking at, just because of the unfortunate Johnny Gaudreau passing, and they just have so many holes now on that team.
But they got Kevin Labanc now.
They do have Kevin Labanc, so. But it just feels like that team, it might just be like, I could also see them rallying and maybe surprising a bunch of people behind this, but maybe they're a feel good story for the first month or so. But I don't think they have the talent right now.
Yeah.
They don't, and that team might be cursed with all their injuries. Boone Jenner, it sounds like it's a long-term injury for him.
Voronkov, him too. It's just they seem cursed right now. They are cursed.
Sorry, Jay, hang in there, buddy. James Hagan. It's really fun. I think we both think the Sharks are going to be there, but I think we would put our money elsewhere.
Yeah, I think you could find better odds in terms of more bang for your buck, where plus 190 is okay, but maybe if there's like a plus 320 or plus 350 for Columbus or Chicago, like I might sprinkle a little bit there, because the Sharks have some NHL bodies that was missing from last season. They have an NHL quality of a team.
They do. All right. Next, I think we kind of touched on this a little bit. Where do they finish in the Pacific Division?
I'm toying with, I don't know if they're going to finish last or second to last. I think it's them or the Flames. Maybe the Ducks. I'm not sold on the Flames, right? You got Nazem Kadri. That just both. Now that just you got Nazem Kadri. You traded Hannafin. No more Markstrom. Dustin Wolf's great, but can he do it in the NHL? Dan Vladar is a backup. I don't know. I don't know what the Flames. I think they're kind of flying under the radar as one of the worst teams in the league, as crazy as that sounds. Like, usually who the bottom 5 are, and you hear the Ducks, the Blue Jackets, the Blackhawks, the Sharks, and then you think of, okay, well, are these other teams going to be in there? And nobody talks about the Flames. I don't know. I'm not trying to bash the Flames here, but I think it's between the Ducks, Flames, and Sharks. I'm going to go with second to last, with the Flames finishing last, then the Sharks, then the Ducks.
That's been my spicy take of the summer, is I think the Sharks have a better record than the Flames this year. Because the Dustin Wolf, like you and I both think Dustin Wolf's gonna be great. Like a good
solid NHL goalie.
But right now it's a lot to ask for, and we've watched plenty of bad goaltending the past couple before last week, and that can sink your season very, very quickly. So that's my spicy take I think the Sharks have a better record than the Flames, and I think the thing with the Sharks is, like, this roster is only going to get better as Celebrini improves, as Eklund continues his development, as Will Smith improves. Like, I think this roster is only going to get better as the season goes along. While I can see the Flames just flaming out behind poor defense and questionable goaltending right now. So
get the fire hose on them.
Yes. All right. Overall, then, that's terrible. Overall, then, I mean, we kind of touched on it already, but where do you have the Sharks finishing in the entire standings? Bottom 5?
Bottom 5, I think, is the broad version, the cop-out answer. If you want me to go specific, either 29th or 30th. I think if Calgary is below them in the standings, I think it's them and Columbus, and then I think the Sharks slot in. If somebody else is behind them, I think it's Chicago. The Ducks, I think, have pieces. I think people underrate Leo Carlson. I think people underrate a lot of prospects and players on their roster, and they've got good bodies. So I don't see the Ducks finishing below, but 29th or 30th. But broad final answer, bottom 5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the Ducks, they also need to do something at some point. It's like we've been waiting. We've been waiting.
You
Are
see
you guys
this building, you got players,
something?
prospects. It's the only, are you going to do something? Hello, you got these things.
Poke
Can we do it? Hello. Yeah, exactly.
No, I think the Ducks are, can you just be the fun, frisky team this year? Just be the team that's like fun, at least until the trade deadline.
That first month they have is always great. Carry that, please.
Yeah. Please carry that. We want to see good California hockey again. It's great. Hockey's better when California hockey's better. So, all right, before we continue with Max, we talk about some of over-unders, including Celebrini's over-under, talk about who we think is going to have the most goals this season for the Sharks, all that fun stuff. Just need to take a quick break. If you want to go grab tickets to catch the Sharks at the Tank, go see the Warriors, go catch the Niners, or whatever it is you want to go see, you need to check out Gametime. Gametime is a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They've curated deals to make it easier to find the best prices on game seats, seat views before you buy. That way you can actually see what your seats look like. Nothing worse than getting to an event and realizing my seat stinks. So check out Gametime. They take all the guesswork out of buying tickets. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Game time. All right. Kind of the final question of these here is, who do you, I know it's the beginning of the season, who do you have in the finals?
It's tough because I really, out of the West, to me, it's the two that were in the conference final last year, Edmonton and Dallas. I'm going to go with Edmonton because I just think McDavid got a taste of the finals and he's not going to let anything stop him from getting back there. I think they have a better roster than they did last year, despite losing the offer sheets. In the East, it's tough. I think Florida really lost critical pieces. The Rangers are good.
3 years in a row is as a long grind. 3 years in a row,
and we saw what happened with Tampa when they did it 3 years in a row. They won them twice. The Rangers are really good, but the defense, we'll see what happens, especially with the drama of the Shesterkin contract that was today. But in the Atlantic, nothing crazy to me jumps off the page. The team that sneaks out to me is the New Jersey Devils. And it's a weird final. I don't know why. It just, Edmonton and New Jersey doesn't seem like something's happening. But I'm going to go with Edmonton and New Jersey in the finals.
Who do you have winning? Edmonton winning it?
Edmonton. I think Edmonton's going to win it. I just think McDavid's not going to let anything stop him from getting that. Despite what we saw last year, I think he's going to go even better, which we said he couldn't do in the regular season. Then he put up 100 assists.
I have Vancouver. I love that Vancouver team. They were this close to beating Edmonton last year with our third string goalie and Elias Pettersson, who was severely injured at the time. I think we're gonna have that like superstar breakout Pettersson season that we've been kind of waiting for. I think it's gonna be this year. That team is deep, up and down, top to bottom. And I know Demko's out right now, but I think he will get back. And I have the Rangers. I just think Shesterkin's going to have just this giant, like, massive
contract year.
I mean, contract year, just staring at management while he just
pay me $12 million.
You sure you sure you don't want to offer me $12 million? Okay. That's who I have. That's my finals right now. So I'm sure we will 100% both get them right somehow. So don't ask how, we just will. Let's turn our attention to some over-unders for Sharks players. So we have to start, of course, Macklin Celebrini, right? That's who? All eyes on Celebrini, some guy from Vancouver. We've been, like everything he does, it's story worthy right now. But
all eyes on him.
all eyes on Celebrini. I'm sure he'll be happy just to get a game, start playing actual games here and soon, and just to kind of get into the groove. But Celebrini, FanDuel has his over under at 54.5 points, which I think is a very fair. I'm taking the over though.
I'm with you. I'm taking the over. I think he hits 61. 61 points is where I think he's going to get. I think he gets 26 to 27 goals. And math is not my strong suit. However many assists to get him to 61. But I'm with you there.
That'd be like 35, 36 goals.
Yeah,
somewhere
with Tyler Toffoli next to him, 35 assists, 27 goals. That's plausible to me. 61 points. That's 62. There you go, Matt. 62 points, 27 goals, 35 assists. Book it.
There you go. I'm probably a little bit lower on the goals and more on the assists because I think but I can see that. I would probably go more like the 20. I think he gets over 20 goals, but then I think a majority of his points are via assists, especially if he's playing with Toffoli and Eklund. I think Eklund is going to have a big season as well. So speaking about Eklund, over under 65.5 points. So
see, that's
like
right
a
on the
20-point jump. Yep.
Yeah, that's right on the button. What I would expect him to get. Now, here's my thing that puts me on some pause here. Eklund is playing with Celebrini and Toffoli to start the season right now. It looks like.
Yep.
Eklund is not on the top power play unit.
That's right now, like
right, and I know
both,
it's at the start.
Those will get swapped in like a week. You and I know those are going to get swapped like weekly.
Right. So I'm just looking at it now, and it'll get moved around. But Eklund had 10 goals in the power play last year. So I'm going to go. What was the number? 62.5. You said
65.5. I'm
going to go under. I think he gets 62 though. I think he reaches 60 points, but from an over-under perspective, I don't think he touches 65 just yet. Gets better, but I don't think he gets to 65.
I think we have the massive Eklund breakout season this year. I actually have it clearly over. I think he's going to be in the 70s. Actually, I think he's going to match his jersey. The number this year was 72 points. He's not having to play with Luke Cunnin on his center for the entire season like we saw last year. Just the increase of talent. Also, if you're playing with Celebrini and Toffoli, what we expect. And yes, he may not be on the top power play unit yet, but we know that power play changes all the time. We've seen Warsawski even in the preseason run out the second unit if they were playing well too. Eklund is. I think this is the massive Eklund breakout. I think this is the 1 year Eklund leads the team in points, and then it'll probably be Celebrini's for the next foreseeable future. His title. So, yeah, that's my. I've been on the Eklund train since the beginning. I have to I can't jump off now.
Yeah, so, no, you can't. Yeah. You're bought in. I love it.
So yeah, you keep riding it. All right, some other guy the Sharks acquired this offseason, Askarov, over under 14.5 starts for the Sharks this year.
Starts lower. If it starts, it's lower. I think he gets 14 games. I'm in the range of 10 to 15 games. I think he's going to start 10 to 12 times at most, but we'll see. It could change if they move one of the goaltenders, but with the contract kicking in next season and it there's a clear understanding from Askarov's perspective that he knows he's not maybe ready for a full-time NHL role. I think he wants more of an opportunity to play in the NHL this season, but next year is when he takes that role. And I think the Sharks see that. I think Askarov sees that. 14 starts is a bit high for me.
Yeah. I could still see.
It could get there. Somebody gets hurt. He's the guy.
Yeah, that's my thing is Blackwood, even though Blackwood was pretty healthy last year, he had 2 separate occasions where he missed some time, about a week off there. So maybe he gets 1 or 2 there. And I wouldn't be surprised too if the Sharks just every hey, it's been 3 weeks. Let's get you up for a game. Let's see how it's going. And then, especially since he's still waivers exempt, let's get you up for a game. So I'm going to continue to be optimistic. I'm going to take the over. And I think especially after the trade deadline, if Blackwood or Vanecek get moved, I think he's going to get the Lions head of starts after that. So he might get a month's worth of starts. So,
that's definitely a possibility. Somebody injured. Yeah, that's one little break. Vitek Vanecek missed the whole year. We know Blackwood's injury history. You've got good points.
So that's why I wear a hat. I'm just kidding. Zetterlund, everyone's favorite Swedish meatball, who looks like I did ask Eklund if he could get abs like that. Eklund was like, "There's no way. I don't think any. It's insane those abs." Anyway, big breakout year last year. This year, 24.5 goals over under.
Over.
You think 30?
Because he scored
what,
24. I don't see 30. I see 20. A similar Celebrini range, 27 to 28. I think the start for him is crucial. One thing that I know Warsofsky has said to us, and just in general, he needs to hit the net more. He missed the net a lot last year, and when he's firing pucks right now like he is in preseason, I hear a lot of glass. He can put the puck in the net with the best of them, get the puck on net a little bit more, and he'll score a lot more in this league. And I know he's trying to, but there's sometimes where
he's not trying.
Yeah. There's sometimes where you're shooting to score every single time, but sometimes you're shooting to create a play. And sometimes when that happens, you're not thinking about as much where you're going to putting in an area rather than a precise spot. And I think that will make more goals for him. And I think he's trying to do that. It just takes time.
Yep. All right. Last of the over-unders here. Vitek Vanecek, who's had a very strong preseason performance, in my opinion.
He surprised me.
I think very much the underrated guy that we didn't just talk about it at all during the summer. But over under 900 save percentage. Can the Sharks get a guy over at 900 save percentage?
I'm going to say under strictly because of the start of the season. I just think it's going to be a real struggle at the start of the year to defend, and the D-Corps is going to play their butts off. But there is all I have to say.
System, a lot of new pieces coming together.
There's a lot of confusion, and if you watch it in the preseason, the Sharks were outshot, I think, in every single game, and it was not close. And I don't think it's by them of lacking of shooting. They had the puck more, which was good to see, and I think they do need to shoot more. But they gave up a lot of shots. Maybe not always high quality, but I think the first month, maybe he struggles, especially being away from the game for so long. Don't think Vitek Vanecek gets there. Blackwood, I think he could. I think he gets like a 901.
Yeah, we're 901. Somebody gets over 900.
Somebody.
Raise the banner up there right next to Thornton and Marlowe. 900 save percentage, Mackenzie Blackwood.
We did it, guys.
Yes, very much so. All right, guys, before we continue with Max, we talk about which goalie starts the most games between Vitek Vanecek and Blackwood. Who also leads the Sharks in average time on ice. Spoiler, he's not picking Logan Couture again. Just need to take a quick break. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. And with the Jets firing their coach, I'm taking the dead cat bounce this week. We see it all the time. The interim coach comes in, the team does really well for one game, and then after that, they fall flat. So take advantage. Jump on the dead cat bounce this 1 week on the Jets, and then skedaddle because that team is bad. So visit FanDuel.com. And, of course, I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. For your second listen, go check out one of the other amazing shows here on the Locked On Network. Of course, you have plenty of stuff in the Bay Area between Niners, Warriors, Giants, and A's. All have got you covered. Or Locked On Fantasy Hockey. I know your drafts are done, but you still need to scour the waiver wire, find out who to pick up, who to drop, all that stuff. So make sure you guys are checking out Locked On Fantasy Hockey wherever you get podcasts. And, of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. All right, let's get to some other kind of just fun leaders and stuff like this. So who leads the Sharks in average time on ice? You famously picked Logan Couture last year, and he played 6 whopping games. Yes,
I stand by my take. Logan again. No. Who leads the team on time on ice? That's tough. I don't think it's going to be a forward this year because the guy you immediately go to is Tyler Toffoli or Macklin Celebrini. It could be a Mikael Granlund, but I don't think so. I'm going to go with Henry Thrun. Henry Thrun's going to lead the team in ice. They really relied upon him a lot. I think they want to take a little bit away from from Ferraro. Yeah. And I think Henry, they want to utilize in all situations and be a Brady Shea style player. So I think he's going to be a minutes muncher. Ryan McDonough is another comparison they look at. Solid two-way player. He's not going to be crazy offense, but he could run a unit if you need him to. He's going to penalty kill. He's going to hit. He's going to be on the ice in crucial situations. And I think that's the guy. I'm going to go with Henry, and I'll let him know I said that tomorrow too.
I'm just gonna keep picking Mario Ferraro until they pry dead body off the ice, because that's my it's Mario Ferraro until otherwise,
no. But I'm gonna go bold, not as bold as Logan last year. Now we didn't know he was hurt when we filmed this last year, so I stand by that.
You do also have the run is playing power play 2 minutes, which is
that's part of the thinking.
That's why I was kind of thinking Wallman, but I don't know if Wallman's going to get as many penalty kill minutes as those guys. But he's the only option on the power play. So, but yeah, I'm going to tell Mario Ferraro that they have to pry him off the ice. Like, it's got to be Mario Ferraro for me.
Yeah.
So, okay. Which player plays the most games? Fabian Zetterlund, the only Shark who played all 82 games. Does he do it? Does he keep the belt, or do you have another player who plays?
No, Fabian Zetterlund keeps the belt. I think he's the best person in shape. I think we could see more than one person get to 82 games, but because Fabian Zetterlund is our resident 82 game player from last season, he gets to keep the crown.
Yeah, and those abs, they just deflect.
He is a force of nature. He keeps his body in tip-top shape. He's really good at getting strengthened, recovering. I mean, you never hear about this guy being bumped and bruised. He never missed practice. He never took a maintenance day. He's a temple. He keeps his body as a temple. But no, like there's a reason why he stayed healthy. And Celebrini, we've already seen get banged up. Will Smith could play 82. I don't think he does. And some of the other veterans, I think maybe you get maintenance days, or
maybe Eklund. Eklund's the other guy.
Yeah, he could.
Because last year he missed one game with like a small injury, and then the other one I think he was sick, so he played 80 games.
Yeah, he could, but he's been he had the shoulder injury in the past, but the point still stands. Fabian Zetterlund did it last year. He was the only guy in the Sharks to do it. I give him the crown again.
All right. So we've skirted around this one. I gave my answer, but who do you think leads the team in points?
I think Tyler Toffoli does. I think Tyler Toffoli leads the team in points with like 68 or 70, like a 30-30 season, a 30-35 season, 35 even, smooth, even 70 points. He's going to lead this team. He's going to play top power play minutes. He's going to be out there in the empty net. He's going to be on the top line. Doesn't matter who he plays with. He will be the number one option to score goals for this season. May not be in the future, could be Celebrini, should be Celebrini, but I'm going to go with the save option in Tyler Toffoli, just given the role he's got with the team. He's going to be the go-to guy for offense, probably right next to Macklin Celebrini, and Tyler Toffoli's got the veteran status ahead of him. So, yeah, I mean, Toffoli's a walking 25 to 30 goal scorer everywhere he goes. I could see that, but again, I've already stuck my flag in the Eklund breakout season, and I think he's going to be a big part in getting Tyler Toffoli 35 goals this year with some of his sweet passing. So, I gotta keep riding the Eklund thing. So, I think we already kind of touched on it, but who leads the team in goals? It's easily Tyler Toffoli for both of us. Yep. You're right on that. I just think he's the bona fide goal scorer of the group.
Okay. Last question. Which goalie starts more games, Vanecek or Blackwood?
I'm going to be crazy to say this, but Vitek Vanecek.
You're not.
I don't like it, but Vanecek has started more games.
You do have a soft spot for Blackwood.
I do have a soft spot for Blackwood, but I don't know. Some tells me like Vitek was a good goalie for the Devils, and so was Blackwood. But Blackwood, the little injuries stick with me. Can he put it together back-to-back seasons? Vitek talks about how much he's recovered and he's doing stuff, and like he's never really been an injured goalie before last season, and he had the surgery to get it fixed. So he may not be the most effective, but he could be the healthiest. And I'm kind of going, I guess, with not a guess that Blackwood's going to be hurt, but I don't know. Vitek surprised me a little bit, and it could be, honestly, if both stay healthy and we don't see Askarov all year, I think it's a 41-41 split.
I think it's going to be, I am right there with you. I think it's Vitek Vanecek as well. We kind of forget, he played 22-23. He played 52 games for the Devils that year, and he
started for the Capitals in the playoffs as like a young goalie in the league. Like, he's shown he can do it. I think he was rushed a little bit, but he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, even that year he was at 52 game. That was the year where they went to the second round, I think. And he was 9-11 save percentage, like 3 shutouts that year. Like he was very, very good.
He was surprising. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you see it all the time. Guys just come out of nowhere. Do I think he's going to put those type of numbers? No. Probably not. But I think, like you said, last year was the first time he was injured, and I almost would prefer it's as weird as I say, I almost kind of prefer the big injury like that instead of like the little nagging ones, because those you feel like you can kind of get over it and kind of move past it. Well, the naggy ones, and that's what Blackwood's
always in the back of your mind, or a muscle injury. You can do
the muscle ones are the worst.
Yeah, you can do stuff to work on to prevent it, but if it's just a commonality, I look at a Christian Watson of the Green Bay Packers, kept getting hamstring injuries, and he found out that one hamstring was not as strong as the other. So I mean, we don't know about that in hockey or what Blackwood's nagging injuries are, but there's always these little things that pop up, and I think he could be generally a healthy goalie, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Should be a much more entertaining season. I think that's what we're looking for, Max.
Thankfully.
Just a much more entertaining season. I don't want to keep having to do post-game shows where it's like, well, that stunk.
I'm with you there. And the press box, we're not cheering for who wins and who loses. We're cheering for happy locker rooms. It doesn't matter if I go to the visitor side and talk to them, or if I go to the Sharks locker room after the game. I want a happy locker room, because happy players equal better quotes.
You just want something to talk about other than, oh man, we lost. That's our 9th straight loss for the 4th time this year. Yeah. We can't. No more.
No,
Max. We can't.
No more. I can't handle it.
We can't do it.
I don't think the Sharks can handle it too. I think there's definitely been a culture shift. Like, on a serious note, I do think there's been a genuine culture shift. Greer said it. Warsofsky said it. Ferraro said it. Everybody's saying it. What happened last year cannot happen again, and I don't think it will.
Yeah, I'm generally, this is like the most excited I've been heading into a season since I've started this podcast. I came in the end of 2022, end of 2020, February 2020, so right before COVID. But I think this is the most excited I am about a Sharks season since the playoff runs, just because there's something to cheer for and watch and be excited about, and new angles to talk about every night and stuff. And so I'm sure you're probably the same way of just you don't have to, it's not the Erik Karlsson 100-point rush or like last year's just poo-poo platter train. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun season. Even if the wins aren't there this year, I think it's still going to be a fun season. So
yeah, it's going to be a more entertaining season, a more competitive season.
That's all we can ask for. Max, you did it again. Where can the people find you, buddy?
You guys can see below me here, Real Max Miller. You can find me on Twitter there and on Instagram, same page. You mentioned it before, the hockey news, thn.com/San Jose. You guys, I'll be posting the game recaps and previews on NHL.com, as well as the occasional feature. So any Sharks news on NHL.com that is not directly from the team, a small feature, that's where you can find me. But I'll post everything I do on Twitter. That's kind of my main go-to, Real_Max_Miller. So that's Twitter and Instagram, thn.com/San Jose for the hockey news articles.
All right. Thanks, buddy. We'll try it again sometime soon.
Awesome. Thanks, JD. Anytime.
All right. Thank you to Max Miller for hanging out. Make sure you guys are going to check out his stuff. And Shane, plenty of great writers between Shane, Curtis, and Max. I'm not trying to pick favorites. Go read their stuff. Go support them. They do a great job covering the Sharks. So, but thank you to Max for spending some time. I know he's a busy dude now. You get that NHL job, and they got you doing a bunch of different stuff. So, thanks to him. Good to talk to him. So, we'll be back tomorrow. We're probably going to do the big storylines of the season to keep an eye out for, kind of the big things I'm going to be tracking this season. So as we get ready, guys, hockey season is here. The Sharks take on the Blues Thursday night. So I'm super excited. I for the first time in a while, rooting for a win. It's weird to say as a Sharks fan the past couple seasons, but would love to talk about a big win opening night. So make sure you guys are following wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter at MyFryhole. Until tomorrow. Bye, friends.